All right, we've got another video that we're going to show you, and this just takes a second to kind of load up. So just give me 1 second and it will be ready to roll.
It is my pleasure to celebrate the 50th anniversary of Cincinnati State, and along with that, the 50th anniversary of co-op. Cincinnati State is a co-op institution. We were founded on co-op. It's part of our legacy, and it's part of the great things that we do.
Cincinnati State has the co-op program, almost, to me, invented the co-op program. You know, something you would learn in school, you would see in the field, and you would actually get to apply what you learned in school in the field or in the company doing things. So the co-op experience, it kind of gives you an edge over others because you've got that hands-on experience and you've done something.
I am a former co-op and graduate of Cincinnati State, and was a co-op student and was hired on full-time and have been here ever since. And my role has evolved, of course, over the time, but I wouldn't trade that experience for anything.
I started out as a co-op from Cincinnati State in 1984. I've been there 35 years. I came in as a co-op, went into the technician role, and now my role is a facilities technical leader. So all of that started with my 2-year degree down here at Cincinnati State.
We are a co-op institution. We work hard to make sure we have the relationships with the community, with employers, to continue to build and expand co-op. Cincinnati State truly is a co-op institution. So we're committed at Cincinnati State to providing the support that students need, but also providing the work experience that's truly aligned with their academic programs.
The biggest takeaway as a co-op, the first thing is the hands-on experience. The second thing is also confidence. And then the third thing is also to know if I'm on the right track.
Although I learn a lot in class, it's really an entirely different experience to be doing something, 5 days a week, 8 hours a day, rather than just spending a few hours on it in class. A lot of the tools that I use in co-op are the same exact tools that I'd use in my class experience, and it really kind of, cemented all that I'd learned in my lab experience.
Cincinnati State is it when it comes to horticulture in Cincinnati. It's really the only horticulture program around, so we don't have a whole lot of options for different places we can go for co-ops. It can't be one or the other, it really needs to be both. And that's the big advantage for the co-ops. They're going to school, they're coming, they're working for me. The package, they learn everything.
At Cincinnati State, we recently completed an economic impact study. The annual impact of our college on the community is over $600 million. 85% of our graduates stay and work in the area.
So a lot of what we're looking for in a student or co-op when they come in is leadership, flexibility, innovation. Can they come in and make a process better? So they get to spend several weeks training with someone that is actually doing the job. It is not coming in and doing, papers and running papers and filing stuff like that, grabbing coffee. You're actually trained to do the job that you're going to be doing maybe potentially full-time after you graduate.
There are the similar benefits to that the student receives that the company receives. With the co-op student, they're here on the job. We get to see who they really are once they're here versus the best side of somebody who came in for the interview. We get to see if it's a cultural fit. We get to see if they have the technical and the practical, the soft skills, those types of things that we're looking for them to be successful here.
What I think the benefit is that we get people working and we get them a great experience. They get good hands-on experience at General Electric, and even if we don't hire them, they can then take that experience and go elsewhere. This is the only school we come to for technicians, specialist roles.
So we have a great future built upon our 50 years of legacy and experience and expertise, and we look forward to even more. At Cincinnati State, we're committed to scaling up the work of co-op education. We're scaling up our support for employers. We know that we have a great past, a legacy of expertise and commitment to experiential learning. And now we're so excited to continue that work, to build up Co-op even more, to work with our employers and the team at Cincinnati State.
So a 50-year tradition. We are so proud of it. It has really allowed a lot of people to be able to gain relevant experience, go on and have prosperous careers. We hope that this is what's going to be a foundation for you as you begin this process. I'm going to turn it over to Mr. Waits right now to talk a little bit more about the co-op pathway. So Mr. Waits, I'll let you take over and I'll switch the slides out.
Okay. Thanks again for joining us this afternoon. The co-op pathway begins with the student's academic eligibility to participate in co-op. So the college requires that you have a minimum grade point average of a 2.0. So 2.0 GPA is minimum to be maintained throughout your co-op experience. In addition to that, you should also have completed your FYE, first year experience class, and in each division we have a professional practices class that is the prerequisite to co-oping. So in engineering, it's CIT 190. In our division, the business division, it's BUS 190, professional practices, humanities 190, or the MID 190. Now, these are all similar classes in that you'll be working on your resume, polishing your interview skills, studying business etiquette, attire, and things like that that will help prepare you to both get and keep your co-op position and be successful once you're on the job. So if you have already completed the 190 class, that's great. If you're taking it this semester, that's fine. It will be done in time for your co-op. If you haven't yet taken that, then during our breakout session, please talk to your co-op coordinator about that. The third step is to attend the co-op orientation. Ta-da, you're here, thanks very much. And the next step after today will be to do a one-on-one pre-interview meeting that you schedule with your own co-op coordinator. Typically, you'll go online using Starfish. You can also contact the divisional offices by phone, and you can also email your coordinator if you can't get in through Starfish. Now, that will be a chance to get to know your coordinator. It's a chance for us to get to know you and figure out which particular co-op pathway is going to be the best for you. So the second half of today's orientation will be a breakout session where the coordinators will go over other specifics of their particular co-op programs, because there are some variations across the different degrees, different divisions. So the next step will be, after today, scheduling your one-on-one informational interview. Now, briefly, let's look at 4 different options for the co-op pathway. For students earning technical degrees, that's engineering, IT, the business division, the traditional co-op pathway is where you have your co-op coordinator send out your resume to prospective employers, as you saw in our video. Many companies, large and small, and they will choose who they interview. It is competitive, but we send the resumes out. They interview you. If they find a good candidate, they make an offer, you accept, and now you'll be co-oping with that company the following semester. So that's a traditional co-op, and it is paid. Normally, we want to meet with you by midway through this semester. We'll talk about that shortly. And then the second half of this current fall semester is when you would be actively interviewing with these prospective co-op employers to begin your first co-op in the spring semester in January. So that's a traditional co-op. Students can also bring to us a current position, a paid position. This could be full-time with benefits, whatever. We have to qualify it or approve it for co-op, but if we do, then you can in fact use your own job to satisfy your upcoming co-op credits. Oftentimes, we can also work with your employer to help modify your particular job duties to take on responsibilities related to your current major. I personally have been very successful with students over the years doing that. So they don't leave where they work, but they take on new duties in addition to their current responsibilities to then enable us to count it for co-op credit because it's now related to their major. Special projects exist for students in certain extenuating circumstances. Again, your co-op coordinator has to approve that or give their consent for that. It is a class, typically 2 credit hours. There'll be assignments and things like that. It's not paid work experience, so it's different than a traditional co-op, but it can be used to satisfy your co-op pathway requirements. For example, this semester I have a student who she's staying at home because all of her children are not going to school with coronavirus, and so she's not physically able to go out to a paid co-op. So I'm doing a special project with her for this fall semester. And the fourth option is something called advanced standing credit. We don't use that very often, but if a student comes to Cincinnati State and they have completed at least 1 year of full-time work in a position that is directly related to their major, again, with proper documentation and approval of your co-op coordinator, you may be able to petition for advanced standing credit to fulfill some or all of your co-op credit. So those are the 4 co-op pathways for the technical degrees. In the Humanities and Sciences division and for our other transfer degrees, such as pre-business administration, you have those same 4 pathways with the addition of internships. Internships are unpaid experiential learning opportunities, and those may also be applicable to your situation. Again, you would work with your co-op coordinator to determine that. But the paid co-op, traditional co-op, using your own position, special projects, advanced standing, and internships are all part of the transfer degree co-op pathway. Now, to get your co-op credit to complete your degree to graduate, you have to be registered each semester in which you're participating in co-op. Co-op is like a regular class. In other words, you have to be registered to get credit. What's unique about co-op or special is the letter grade. The evaluation is not ABC letter grade like a regular math or English class. It is satisfactory or unsatisfactory, but you have to get satisfactory grades in each co-op semester in order to graduate. Now, 2 types of co-op, full-time and part-time. Depending on how many hours you're working per week throughout the semester, you can be a full-time co-op for 2 co-op credits per semester if you're working a minimum of 32 hours a week up to 40. So that would be full-time for 2 credits, 32 to 40. If you're working part-time, you get 1 co-op credit per semester, and that would be a minimum of 20 hours a week up to 31. So say 3 days a week, 24 hours, that's a good part-time co-op for 1 credit each semester. Now, when you register for the co-ops, you have to register for the correct section, whether it's full-time or part-time, and which sequence you're in. So let's look at the slide here. If you're in a full-time co-op, 32 to 40 hours a week, you're going to register for the upcoming spring semester, which would be your first full-time co-op, for whatever your major is, say ACC for accounting. ACC 291 would be the correct full-time co-op for your first one. 2 for 2 credit hours, 1 because it's your first full-time. 9 is just the magic middle number for all co-ops, anytime, anywhere. So let's say you do a great job for spring of 21. They want you to come back in the summer of 21. Then you would register for ACC 292 because it's your second full-time co-op. Part-times are the same way, except it's a 100 series class because it's only 1 credit hour. So if you were part-time accounting, you'd go ACC 191 for the spring semester. If you went back and did part-time for summer, you'd go ACC 192 and then 193, 194 for the successive semester. So you can do 2 credits per semester maximum. If you're in the transfer degree programs and you only need 2 credits of co-op, then you can either do 1 full-time co-op or 2 part-times. For the technical degrees, which most of the degrees are, you're going to need 2 full-time semesters or 4 part-time semesters, or you can also mix and match. You can do 2 part-time and 1 full-time, and that would take 3 semesters instead of 4. So make sure that you work with your coordinator to register for the proper co-op course in the right sequence, full-time versus part-time. And that shows how to register for co-op. Pretty much wraps up your co-op pathway. So talk to you soon.
Awesome. Thanks, Mr. Waits. We're next going to talk a little bit about C-State CareerLink. This is a tool that we use for you to put resumes in, also tracking your placements. So to access CareerLink, there are a couple of different ways you can do that. You can actually go directly to the website, or you can go under Blackboard. So we've got a short little video that will give you an overview of what you're going to need to complete.
Getting started with C-State CareerLink. The purpose of this video is to assist students log into C-State CareerLink from Blackboard, navigate the C-State CareerLink homepage, and finally to complete the co-op application. In order to access CareerLink, you will need to log into Blackboard. Once you've logged into Blackboard, you will want to scroll down. On the left-hand side, past academic advising, you will see C-State CareerLink. Click on the blue letters. This will take you to the CareerLink login screen. All currently enrolled students and recent graduates already have access to C-State CareerLink. Your profile has been started for you. Your username is your Cincinnati State email address, and the password is the same password that you use to get into Blackboard. After you've entered your username and password, click on Student Alumni Sign-In. If this is the first time you have logged into CareerLink, it will ask you a series of questions related to your career interests before giving you access to the home page. The CareerLink homepage should look similar to this. It will show you latest jobs that might be good fits for you, as well as co-op related news and upcoming events. On the left-hand side of the screen, you will see various menu options. Click on Co-op and Internships to access the co-op application. The co-op internship application asks you a series of questions which are important in placing you in an appropriate co-op position. Questions with a red asterisk are required, and you will not be able to submit the application if those questions are not answered. At the bottom of the screen, please read the co-op conditions. Once you have read the conditions, please initial them, give the date, and there is also a section for you to give media consent. When you have completed the application, click on Submit Application. If you have not completed the application, you can click on Save as Draft and complete it later. After submitting the application, an email notification will be sent to your co-op coordinator for their review. Once it has been reviewed, you will receive an email that is either approved or needs revision. Be sure to follow up with your co-op coordinator if you have any questions.
All right, we've got a few announcements, and we're going to start out with Mr. Hooten to talk a little bit about the Disney College program.
Kelly, I think I'm taking care of Disney today.